Hello and welcome. I'm Lisa M. Harrison, and you're listening to Deconstructing the Construct. Welcome to episode 4, the simulation. There is so much to say about this simulation, about what we've been through since 2012, that it's very easy to make it over complex, complicated, and get bogged in the details. So I'm trying to simplify. And I think the way to do that is to start with the big picture. And every time I think of the big picture, I think of the TV show Lost. Now, whether you believe that everyone died on that plane, on that crash, on that island, and that the whole series took place in some kind of purgatory, or whether you understand that show as being some people died before that plane crash, some died many years after the plane crash. Either way, the island acted as a reality that drew all of these souls together, like they're a soul group. And they had to go through this process to remember who they were and who they actually were to each other. And that's what this simulation is doing. That's the purpose it is serving. It was created in order to give us more time to awaken, to remember, to clear our minds of the programming and the virus. So what I know about the simulation is the following: that it is a complete copy of an original construct, which means all 12 realms. But what's unique about our realm is that all 12 realms were imprinted here. It's why we have such diversity and the sheer number of plant life, animal life, insect life, even the different races of humans. It's all represented, it's all imprinted here. And we can see the evidence of it. The evidence of the giant realms in the mountain and rock formations, those ones that look like giant animals and humans. We've got evidence of the Atlantis Egyptian realm with the pyramids all over the world. Now, apparently we agreed to be the realm that imprinted it all, because as Holmes said, we are the strongest among us. Now, as I talked about in earlier episodes, when we come into a construct, we project an aspect of our soul into the construct, but not just the one. If we want to experience different realms simultaneously, then we do, we've got one here in this 3D realm. We may have an aspect in the galactic realm. And for those of you who do, you feel very connected to the whole galactic situation, the Andromedans, the Palladians, or the Lyran, whatever. We may have had an aspect in the Egypt-Atlantis realm, and I believe many of us did, because I think in the original construct, that's the realm so many of us came together for the first time in order to try and correct, fix the construct. It's why so many of us have a pull to Atlantis, what we call Atlantis, or what we call ancient Egypt. So what was the point of imprinting everything here? It served several purposes. It allows the simulation to clean out and close out a realm at a time. The aspects, the souls that are in that particular realm either go home, wake up, or are integrated into us, into this aspect here. And this third realm, this imprinted realm, is sort of acting like bait. So are we. Because as a realm gets cleared, purified, the virus sort of migrates into the next realm or to another realm. It's being corralled, it's being forced into this realm as each of the others, through a series of waves that homeshed throughout 18 and 19, as different realms were being cleaned out. It was actually early in 2019, earlier than May, there was a reference to the 2020 line. And when I asked in May of 2019 for clarification on what that meant, I was told it was a line to a portal or a gateway that allowed for intervention, that allowed for assistance to certain soul groups, that will allow for them to be assisted directly to go home. And that 2020 marked one of those lines being activated for a particular soul group. On February 14, Valentine's Day of 2020, the message came through that the pull had begun for Realm 7. In my experience with these communications with home, every time a realm got cleaned out and the people, the beings in it, the minds in it pulled, it was always felt here. And we all know what happened here exactly a month later on March 14. The world went into lockdown. That is also part of the bigger picture, but I'll get to that. Now, even though this simulation was created in order to give us more time, it was the gentlest, safest thing to do for the minds. It too will get to the point, and has gotten to the point, in my opinion, where to keep it going much longer will actually do more harm than good. Now, I've described this simulation and the original construct as having 12 realms, created by 13 beings. The 13th, the original designer, architect, creates and holds the space for the construct to exist in. One of the other beings from home referred to that space as source. And if you think of it as the source for the construct, the space that the construct is in, then we're not talking about the ultimate source of all. We're talking about the source, this big bubble of energy that the original construct was in. Now, this simulation is still within that space. It's not outside of the original creation. It's within that space, that source. Now, it's not contrary to what Lilu said. It was just a different way of looking at it. That being that described this source, said, think of it as realm 1, and think of the home realm as realm 2, and that where we are as realm 3. I was also told that source was doing something new, brand new, and that a whole new realm was being created for those who, after this simulation has to close, need even more time. And that the only thing that will be left inside of this original source will be the home realm and this new realm that's been created for those who need even more time. I even know that the home realm itself is a brand new realm. Lilu said very early on, to give me a comparison between the original home realm in the original construct and the new one, she said, it's the difference between Windows 9 and Windows 50. It was being upgraded in every way. And you've probably heard the term New Earth. Lots of people in the New Age refer to the New Earth. And they could be referring to either of these realms, either the upgraded brand new home or this newly created for those who need more time realm. So as part of this bigger picture overview, we really are ground zero of this controlled demolition. And we are pulling, we are integrating the aspects of ourselves from each of these other realms where possible. If not, we're sending them home to be fully integrated into that larger part of us. And it's why everything is being seen the way it is. It's being exposed, because there are realms that are darker than this one. But they are imprinted here, and they are being seen here, they are being pulled here as those other realms get cleaned out. So now getting to how we've personally experienced this whole process since 2012. As I said earlier, throughout 2013, we were in the process of being transferred into the simulation. And we were placed in the most optimal timeline for us personally. Whether optimal for you meant the most seamless transition, or whether it meant placing you somewhere, someplace, sometime that was most ideal for you then to step into what you were going to do during this simulation in order to assist. But that wasn't the only thing going on. We were also identifying false timelines, as in artificially created timelines, manipulated timelines, destructive timelines, timelines that ended in loops and resets. They were all being identified throughout 2013. And if you listen to episode 1, you'll know that at the end of that process, on Christmas Day of 2013, I experienced, witnessed all of those extraneous timelines being deleted. And that's when the phenomenon of the Mandela Effects started to kick off. Because some events from a deleted timeline were saved, you could say, and pulled into a remaining timeline. All sounds crazy, I know. All sounds way too sci-fi for anybody's brain to handle, but as far as I know, that's what happened. So where did that leave us? With the minimal number of timelines we could get away with. And what do I mean by timelines even? It's really a sequence of events. Everything is event-driven. It's not really calendar-driven, time-driven, it's event-driven. We experience time between events, but it's the events themselves that are important. And from 14 onwards, we were essentially running simulations within the simulation, looking for the most optimal sequence of events. We'd pull an event or two from timeline A and another one from timeline B and several more from timeline C and create a narrative out of it, create a series of events that collectively and personally woke up the most people. How this may have played out for you in your own life is, if you think back, seeing themes play out again and again. The people might be different people, might be the same people, might be slightly different details, but the theme kept showing up on the regular. For example, somebody I know, she either broke up with her partner every March and got back together every October, or it was the other way around. Or themes of career change or financial loss or relationship breakdowns, miscommunication. There'd be a theme, even if it was with different people. We were just literally running through simulations. What's the best sequence and series of events that gets me to where I need to be in my mind? But wait, there's more. Running simulations within the simulation since 2014 is not the only thing that's been going. As I talked about in episode 1, in my awareness, the false light forced reincarnation cycle ended in 2011. But at the time, this was still a closed system, or the original construct was still a closed system. So they weren't leaving. That's where all the orbs came in, remember? So those beings, those souls, who were no longer in physical form but still in the construct, were also placed in the simulation, primarily because They all had to go through a cleansing process. The virus was not allowed to leave the simulation, if that makes sense. Everyone had to be cleaned, whether you were in body or not. Every mind, every soul had to be cleaned. And in my understanding, those doors were opened for those beings to finally leave towards the end of 2016. And it was after that, late 2016 onwards, that the focus was put on the physical, the embodied realms. And I think we can all see the evidence for that. Since 2016, most people wonder what the hell happened to the world, to people. We are seeing an absolute battle, division and separation, as well as unity and compassion. And as crazy as it all is, what we're doing seems to be working. Because when I started talking about this subject in 2016, I was pretty much on my own. But look at how widespread now the language is, the conversations are around our reality being a simulation or a construct or the matrix. It's everywhere, along with a seeming obsession with NDEs and OBEs now. We are questioning our reality like never before. And I had a spiritual experience in 2011 where I was told that light will be shone in all the dark places. It's not that this reality is getting worse. We are just seeing what was always here. Everything is being exposed. And not just in our particular realm and reality, but throughout the entire construct. But also being told multiple times, no question, that no one gets left behind. And that love is all there is. And one of my little catchphrases since 2016 is to get in your heart and stay in your heart. Because it is actually love that is driving this whole experience. Unconditional love. Because unconditional love is who we are. And it's our unconditional love for all aspects of ourself. For those aspects that we've put into this construct. We will not leave them behind. They will not leave us behind. We actually do have family outside of this place. And it's their unconditional love for us. It's our unconditional love for them. This is all being driven by love. Which is why we are doing it as slowly and as gently as we can. The one thing I really do want to get across is this isn't about being rescued or saved by anything external to us. It's us saving ourselves. It's the greater part of us saving its aspects. It's us saving and rescuing our family members. So as out there as all of this sounds, I do hope I've been able to simplify, make your experience make a little sense, make the absurdity and craziness of the world make a little bit more sense. So thank you for listening. I hope you'll join me next episode when we talk about who's who in the zoo. Bye for now.